What's good, YouTube? Another quick hitter. We're going to talk about Dante Exum re-ascending himself with the team that drafted him. They still haven't gave up on Dante Exum, a guy that has been here for 3 seasons, 6'6" with a 7-foot-inch wingspan. He will turn 23 July 13th, and that's when we'll be in Summer League. Career high 8 points, 48% from the field, 80% from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 3 assists, and also 27% from three. This is a guy that we don't really know too much about. We done seen him play. A lot of people, including myself, I feel like don't give up on him. He's not a bust. He can play. Biggest problem with Dante Exum and getting his contract is he doesn't play. He played 82 games his first season. He played 66 games his second season, and he played 14 games last year. So we haven't really seen him. Even if you say, well, we played a lot of games, it's just the point that he didn't get that many minutes, and he didn't play any valuable games really because he wasn't a starter. I thought him getting to Utah, he would be a starter, but he's not. And the funny thing is Dante Exum is actually taller than Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell only 6'3", 6'4". Dante Exum is a point guard. He's taller than the shooting guard. But I like Dante Exum. He's a guy that shows a lot of potential. It's just so scary how good this guy can be, but he just can't stay healthy, and that's the problem. But they didn't give up on him. They still wanted him around. This is a 3-year, $33 million extension. They want him to stay around. Even if they trade him, he still is an asset because of his youth, his age, his body, and his length, and his ability to play multiple positions. This is a guy that can play the 1, 2, or the 3 because he has the length and the speed and the quickness to stay with threes. And with a 7-foot wingspan, he can really make things tough and difficult, especially when you're trying to finish around the rim because he has the athleticism in the reach to make it tough to either block or contest your shot. We've seen a lot of that in the playoffs where he can really get up into people and stay with them because of that body. And he can really be a tremendous defender. We just can't seem to keep him on the court. And that's the problem is that this guy looks good. I remember seeing him in Summer League, and he was hitting threes. He was dunking on people. He was making the game look so easy. He was getting assists in a short amount of time. I'm looking like this guy can play. But he just haven't been good enough to crack the rotation consistently, and he hasn't been good enough. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. But what this is just telling you that they believe in this. This is a project. It's not going to be perfect. He didn't come out ready to play. This is a long-term development plan with Dante Exum. This guy has a load of talent in the body. So he has everything that you will want in a player. He has to put it all together. And that's going to be with the coaching staff and the excellent coach in Quinn Snyder. I believe that they can get the best out of this guy. But I can't lie that I am a little blind about it because I said this when he was a rookie. And 3 years later, he hasn't really became an all-star or a superstar or even a good role player. Well, you can call him a good role player, but he just didn't play that much. So at the end of the day, this is a guy we don't really know what to expect. This is a guy we're just going based off hype. This is a guy that we just see glimpses of excellent, but he hasn't been able to put it all together, put all his eggs in one basket. And at the end of the day, that's the hardest thing about Dante Exum is a what if, what he could, and what he should be. But this guy, we don't really know what he is going to be because if he is a point guard, he can run that show. He's not a guy that's going to try to go out here and dunk on you just because he's athletic and can got that wingspan. He's a guy that plays in the pick and roll, plays under control, plays like a veteran, and he has a quiet demeanor. And he's a guy that can lead. I like him. I like this guy. He got all the tools that you will want, and he's teachable. He's coachable, and he even focused on hitting those corner threes. So if he has to play off the ball, he can hit those corner threes, and he can get to the paint. He can get to the free throw line, and he's an excellent passer for his size and for his position. So I like him. I hope the best for him. I like that they haven't fully given up on him. And 3 years is a commitment. You look at these deals, you happy if you get a 2-year deal. They gave Dante Exum a 3-year deal, so they bought all the way into his stock. and invested some hefty money compared to the other contracts that's been given around this last couple these since Saturday. I like him. I'm buying into the hype. Hopefully, we can see him play major minutes in the future. Hopefully, he can get some rehab in and really get back to putting a lot more work and some more weight on that body and some more muscle on that body and get that 3 point stroke going and keep having defensive mentality. Because if you play hard and you want it, you're going to get a lot of time on the court. And if you're willing to listen and you're willing to do the little things, you're going to get a lot of time on the court. And that's something that Dante Exum already does. And the positions are opening now. Ricky Rubio, I don't think he's a long-term fit there. I prefer to have Dante Exum over Ricky Rubio, and you ain't gonna really know what you can get out of this guy until you let him play. You don't know how great he gonna be. You don't know how bad he gonna be. You don't know how amazing he could be if you're not gonna give him valuable minutes and let him learn and let him play and let him go with the growing pains. Yes, you might lose a couple games. Yes, you might be a lower seed in the playoffs, but this is a development plan. You can coach him, you can teach him, you can tell him what he should do, you can tell him to practice this, but he still has to go out there and do it in the game. He still has to go out there and play. And if he's able to do those things in a game, you have a guy that can be a potential two-way star and a playmaker. So at the end of the day, we'll see what happens with him. I'm glad that Utah didn't give up on him because a team would have loved for a guy like this to fall to them cheaply. And even some teams probably would trade us first or a second round pick for him just to try him out. If Emmanuel Mudiay can get you a second round, if you can trade a second round pick for Mudiay just to rent him for another season like New York did, and just to try him out, I would give up a first round pick just to get Dante Exum because to me he has better potential than Mudiay. So at the end of the day, he has some help now with Derek Favors coming back, with Jay Crowder being his floor spacer, with Donovan Mitchell being a ball handler. Plus, he can add to that 3 point game, and he can make shots easier because he can create shots off the dribble. We've seen a little bit of his point guardness in the playoffs. It's going to be rough, but Donovan Mitchell has to learn and he has to develop too. He was only a rookie. He didn't really play like it, but he was, and he still got flaws and he got things he need to polish and brush up too. But this could be a good backcourt. I like this. I like the versatility of Exum. I like the versatility of this guy, and he's special. But let me know what you guys think about this guy. Do you think they should have gave up on him? Do you think they should have just traded him? Do you think that they should just let him become a stricter free agent and put their money towards a veteran or a player that can come in and contribute right now to help them win with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert? Or do you think that hey, we can still win, but we can still develop this guy and he can still become a franchise guy possibly for us down the line? At the end of the day, we don't really know what he's going to do. We don't really know what's going to happen. The injury came out of nowhere, so it ain't like it was a freak injury that he caused himself. We didn't anticipate him getting injured. It was sad that it happened, but at the end of the day, it's part of the game, and it's something that we have to accept, even though it's the ugly part of the game besides the business part. But for them to be able to come to terms this quickly and get a deal done with Dante Exum shows you that both sides are really interested and they really trying to get somewhere and they see the future that he has. And if he can really get a pull-up game and if he can really get a crossover or blow-by move, he could be a phenomenal offensive player just because he's so smart and so witty. It's like he sees the game ahead of time or something like that because he knows when to make the passes. He knows when to give up the ball. He's not a ball dominant player. He's not a guy that wants to go out there and do all of the dancing and dribbling and do all this fancy stuff. He just reminds me of a Spur player. I can see Dante Exum playing for the Spurs, honestly. He has the demeanor, he has the length, he has the size, he has the versatility, he has the potential, and that's just something that Greg Popovich just want to get his hands on and just say, hey, I see it all in you, let's get it out of you. And we done seen Derek Favors become all right, but we done seen Rudy Gobert become one of the best defensive players in history. If you look at the numbers, and he is a Defensive Player of the Year winner and an All NBA player. So that just lets you know. And they trusted Donovan Mitchell. He got short minutes and he came in and played and worked his way and played hard, did the little things. Next thing you know, he was starting, and next thing you know, they was in the playoffs when Rudy Gobert came back. So this team, have some good young prospects, and they decided to keep it together so they can continue to grow together. Derek Favors hasn't hit his peak. Dante Exum haven't hit his peak. And like I said, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, they still got long way to go because they're not even close to 30. So this team could be a future contender if they can develop them right and utilize them right, and they can stay injury free. So big picture, I like this Utah team, and they will have cap space in the future too. So they might be able to add another guy that want to come and play with this core, especially if they keep making the playoffs. Somebody gonna see what they doing, like what direction they going in, and they gonna want to hop on the bandwagon. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. And let me know what you guys think about Dante Exum re-upping and committing to the Utah Jazz, the team that drafted him. They didn't want to give up on them just yet, and we starting to see why.